All right, so I'm back. I'm finally back with Berserk. Now, technically, I read this like half a volume set 2 months ago. Life got in the way. But I am still really enjoying Berserk, and the characters are getting even more interesting. They've always been interesting. Hard to say if you can get more interesting. But I got a lot of things I'm wondering now, because from the beautiful scene at the beach with Shirko's relationship with Guts, I refuse to believe it's romantic. I think father-daughter, having someone to care for, having someone to care about kind of relationship. So I'm going with that, because otherwise it's just creepy. And I said in the clips that'll come after this that I don't trust the kid who had showed up on the beach that they found. Now, I'm almost grateful that so much time has passed, because initially I'm just like, outsider, ostracized child, something's up with him, he's seeing and controlling monsters and spirits. I didn't even take a second really to think that he could be a grown-up version of the fetus that has been following Guts, so the Casca and Guts' child. And I said, like, I can't wait to see the fetus return, but I meant like return as like an adult version, like from the future fairy world. It dissolved into nothingness when it was born. I figured it'd come back grown up and not in the fetus form. But I have been so locked in on the idea that the fetus was absorbed in creating Griffith's new body, I didn't think maybe the fetus was separated from Griffith. There's still part of it, a small part, inside Griffith, because that's what Casca was reaching out to. I refuse to believe otherwise. That's just no, there's part of the fetus in Griffith which Casca could connect to. But the rest of it might have been expelled and brought from the world it was in into our world. Clearly. And definitely has a connection with Guts. I think he's the one that stopped Guts from killing his friends in Berserker mode. So very, very, very interested to see what becomes of this child, where the child went. We also need to get Casca to the Fairy King, because he might grant her a wish to restore her memory, if that is what she wants. We don't know what she's going to want, but I know it's not going to end up being what Guts wants. He just wants her, I'm sure, back to normal. They can pick up where they left off, just heal her mind. I want to see her have to confront the emotions and the trauma that she's gone through. The idea that Griffith had done this to her. Not only he hurt her in this way, but chose to do it in order to hurt Guts. To be used by someone you idolize, someone you worship. She would have given anything for Griffith, and he did this to her. I want her to confront that fact and see what that looks like. I want to know what she will do when she is not this catatonic, mute, not herself state. She's out of it. I want to see what happens when she regains the cognition that she had in the past and can confront what happened to her. That is what I want. What else happens in these two chapters? So we go to the village where Shirka ends up meeting the medium that is with Griffith, and their dynamic is what I'm most excited to see, because she is jealous of the princess who's with Griffith. I prefer not to go into romance, so I want to say she just, because she's empathetic and an empath, I think, she can feel what others feel, and if Griffith truly believes what he's doing, greater good, savior, he's got some weird complexes going on. I don't know, he's got to believe like he deserves this, so if she can feel that, and he saved her, maybe she'll believe it too, that he's the rightful ruler of the world, deserves his castle and kingdom. She feels she's the only one who can fly with him, the kite and the hawk together. Again, I'm hoping it's not a romantic thing, but she's so jealous of the princess. Is this how dark will it go? Where will if she goes like crazy dark, that's going to be an experience. She can be terrifying. I can believe that. Creepy kids. You can't go wrong with creepy kids. But she has this dynamic with what she calls the owl in Shurika. And I just like friendship, okay? Don't get me wrong. I would prefer the trauma. That's what I'm reading Berserk for. But at the same time, I'm like, yay, let them be friends. I want to see where this goes. Cedaro and Puck are still the dynamic duo that I love. They're hilarious. I love the focus that Cedaro got in these two chapters. And I want to see more from him. I'm mildly interested in crazy religious lady Farnes and her journey from religious zealot to which, I'm only vaguely interested. I think maybe. I don't know. We'll see if she grows on me more. I do like her. I like her a lot more from when I started off, just I don't like her as much as I like everyone else in the group. So that's really all I got. Cut to very far past Jessica reading the chapters. Alright, so we're still on the beach, having a wonderful time. Just read a couple chapters. And Shirika is staring at the ocean, saying she doesn't like it. Or the little elf guy one is saying, I don't like the ocean, it's creepy at night. I disagree. The beach and ocean is beautiful at night. But fair, you're worried about getting swept out into the darkness, sucked into the bottoms of those pitch black swells. And you know what? Can be creepy in the Berserk world, so fine. But Guts comes over and talks to her, and she's reminiscing on, I keep going to call her Lily, Flora, who passed away, and he's saying, like, hold up, you've had a hard time kind of thing. And I love this. She says, no, it's different for us. Like, we live in the astral world as well as the human world. It's different. When through death, we magic users part with a loved one, it carries a different meaning than for you of the physical world. To us who lived in both worlds, death is not an end, but an emergence into a new grand existence. It's never cause for sadness, as she is crying and bursting into tears, because she's still going to miss her and not see her again. So Guts hugs her, and well, allows himself to be hugged by her, I guess, technically. But still, look at them. And that's when Skull Knight shows up, says he had been friends with Flora, gives advice about the armor and it taken over, and how he wore it in the past. And Guts is like, yeah, thanks for the advice, but I'm keeping the Berserker armor, it's good. And I'm not going to let it take over me, I'm going to be the one in control. So appreciate that. They're saying apostles will be on the way, and no one will be able to stand against Griffith as he stands in both worlds, so it'll take someone of both worlds to, like, take him down. So that's why he went after Flora, as her magic probably could have taken him out. So now Guts will have to struggle again to take him out, which, of course, but then Casca... Oh, they also mentioned that if Casca reaches the land of the fairies where Puck is from, that the king there might be able to restore her to her previous self, restore her mind. But there's no guarantee that Guts' wish for that to happen will be Casca's wishes as well. We won't know what she wants. And she's just wandering around on the beach, unsupervised near the water, which is dangerous, and comes across this little kid, who I'm thinking is adorable. It's so sweet. She immediately takes to him, wraps him up into a hug, because he's going to be cold at night. It's cold on the beach at night. And they find her, and take her back to their little cabin thing. And she's feeding him soup, and eventually he's climbing over Guts and his armor, and they have to catch him before he falls onto the sharp knives, and they're acting like a little family, or they look like a little family, but Casca's still mad at Guts, because, you know, issues. Rightfully so. Shirika is putting her little fairy in her hat there, just because... she thinks that, the little elf thinks that Shirika is in love with Guts, and it's like, no, fight for your man. It's hilarious and funny, and they're also a dynamic duo, but I still prefer Puck and Isidro. Now, Guts is also remembering the corrupted fetus, and that was his child as well, so he's thinking about him in this moment when there's another little kid involved, and I'm like, cute kid, I'm not going to question it. I don't want to question it, because it's an adorable little child, they deserve to be happy. And you know what? Maybe they can just adopt an orphan. Then you get the crocodile that's just, like, raising out of the water. I'm like, the last time we seen a crocodile man was with Griffith. These people have an appropriate response to seeing the alligator crocodile, yes, crocodile, barging in through the door and standing up. They freak out, like, what is this lizard dragon thing? Because they don't even, like, they're like, no, this is a crocodile. It's an animal from a foreign land. And they properly respond, taking it out. And Shirika is preparing her magic spells because it's a full moon, so she has more magic to summon even though they're not on a church. And again, I'm thinking it's fine. This is normal. This is absolutely fine for them. Isidro is throwing bombs, and his skills have improved. You have awesome panels with Guts and his sword and just taking down the crocodiles. Like, looks awesome. Completely fine opening. But then some of the crocodiles get around them and head towards the cabin. And this is when I start getting suspicious. Shirka is not ready with her spell quite yet. Crocodile comes to the door. Little kid meets eyes with crocodile. Crocodile turns away. Just in time for Shirka to get her spell together, and I'm assuming vanishing. I stopped reading there. I suspect this child now. Child is... No, Guts would sense him if he was an apostle. Kid can control monsters. Kid is a monster, shapeshifter, comes from the sea. Kid is a demon? No. I'm going with Kid can control monsters, and he was isolated for his connection with monsters, and the villagers think he's a bad omen, or something like that. I like the kid, don't let him be evil. These familiars do not possess the will to act individually. There is sure to be a nearby spellcaster controlling the mob. If you defeat him, like Beast Tamer or something like that's a D&D class, right? And I've pretty much accepted this. That's what this is turning into a little bit. Could the kid be related or abducted by, or is the spellcaster controlling them? I don't think he's the spellcaster controlling them, because why would he turn them away and have them hunt them? Spellcaster is looking to get the kid back. They're for once not after Guts. I'm not sure why. I thought, okay, so Serpico just found the spellcasters. There are 4 of them hiding behind some rocks. And you see their shock face when he just zoops over using the wind power and, like, surprises them. And for whatever reason, I thought he was just going to knock them out. So maybe, I don't know, interrogate them, something like that. I just thought they were going to knock them out. He decapitates all 4 of them with one swing and one panel, and I'm just like, why wasn't I expecting that? This is something he would do. God almighty, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. So, through the severed heads, mist and smoke, like the Emperor Buddies, poured out, creating a elephant with teeth / I don't know, cuttlefish, whatever the hell that was, which the armor had to take over, and it looked like it was devouring Guts, and beautiful imagery, which he goes all berserker mode, slashes down everything, and is about to turn on his friends. And he had been saying, like, he felt like he was being swallowed by the blackness, the dark depths of the water. But then Shirka is, like, calling him back, and he sees this light in front of figures who he does not know are his friends. He's about to kill them. The light's like, stop, be not afraid, I am not your enemy, we are your friends. And he's like, it's like a light, I'm breaking through the surface. And I'll show you the page before first. So nice, so pretty. And then you have possibly one of the most gorgeous little pages as she's pulling him out from the darkness. And I love it so very much. God almighty, the artwork is beyond gorgeous. The little fiery thing that appeared in front of Guts to stop him from attacking his friends is implied not to be Shirka, and she was obviously the one when he felt like he was underwater in that light. But the one that stopped him at first, originally I thought it was like Flora's spirit, but maybe not. The kid who I'm suspicious of for controlling the alligators, unclear, but Serpico is not trusting Guts right now. He's standing there looking very concerned at the fact that the Berserker armor almost made him kill Pharnacy, so he's going to be keeping an eye on Guts. Alright, so we have more dead people in Berserk. No one is surprised. Came to a new town, merchant's kind of city, and our favorite little witch gets in trouble because you should not be dressed as a witch in the holy city. So she has to hypnotize a bunch of people, make them lose focus so she can slip through. But eventually she just needs to get away because she's sensing all the odd of the spiritual stuff around with so many people, and she doesn't like all the big buildings. And she ends up wandering around to a area where it's just a bunch of people who have been hung. And of course, disturbing, but at least these people are wearing pants. And they were all slaves from the Kushan Empire, I guess, or origin, but did nothing wrong, but the people didn't know what to do with them. They were being sold like livestock. It's like, let's just hang them because it'll be good for the war mentality. And I'm like, that's lovely. Previously, one of them had been talking about the different mercenary groups and who was the best. And of course, the Band of the Hawk comes up, and Guts says he doesn't remember who he used to work for, and Puck's just like, yeah, that's totally right. Right now, our darling little witch has found a big ship, and I'm terrified of what this ship is transporting. My original fear was just, oh great, we're going to deal more with slavery. That's going to be a terrifying concept to deal with in Berserk. But then I'm like, this is Berserk. It'll be worse than that. It'll be like monster slavery. I don't know what it'll be. Or they're going to take the war and violence out into undiscovered lands. But very big ship, very pretty ship. I am curious because Isidro was saying, like, hey, I lost the witch. And someone rides up on a horse and is like, I'm sorry, did you say witch? You want to tell me more about that? And if I was Isidro, I'd be like, oh, just talking about my little sister, my girlfriend, or someone. She's a total witch. I should stop using that phrase. She's not really one. I'm just insulting a friend. But that's probably not what's going to happen. Is this Mule? It might be Mule. I don't know his face very well yet. We're going to see who this guy on the horse is. 2 seconds later. Okay, Buddy's looking for the witch. Isidro's like, you're just some bratty nobleman talking from your high horse, and he gets down off his horse like, my apologies. What were you saying about the witch? I need to find a witch. And he's like, you are just some noble buddy who wants to be promoted tonight, and you think by catching this witch you will, and I won't have. And he jumps up on the wall, and he looks like a little duck guy. He makes that face that he does, and then he jumps over, and the buddy is just like, what the heck? Like, literally, little thought bubble. What the heck? That's the appropriate way of responding when dealing with Guts' crew, especially because Puff just threatened him with his little flower, and I love it. I love it so much. All right, I think I found a decent place to stop just here in the middle. So Shirka and Sonia end up meeting at a pier. They're staring out at the ocean. I love the ocean, okay? So I'm happy that they're around water. And Shirka's covered in seagulls, and Sonia's telling her the story about a kite, which I hate that name for a bird. I'm just picturing a kite flying in the air, but whatever, who could fly near a hawk, but the hawk and a duck princess are said to get married, and all the other ducks are happy for them, but only the kite knows what it's like to fly with the hawk. So is she in love with Griffith, or does she just admire his strength and want to be near him and doesn't like other people taking attention away from him? Unclear. But the girls are just having a lovely conversation. It's a witch and a medium, so they have a lot in common. They understand more about the spiritual world and being alone and different from regular society. But then a group of totally not pirates show up with a bunch of kids and is trying to not smuggle, they bought them from this village. Because all their parents had been hung, the ones that Shirka had burnt to release their souls and get them be at peace. That's how Sonia found her. She's seen the smoke and souls being released and said it was beautiful and kind of her. So she ends up freezing one of the pirates just in time for Isidro to come in and help rescue them. And he is so, I love Isidro. He's such a good boy, and he's fighting, and he's not holding back-ish. But then when he realizes, oh, he drew blood, he hit an artery, this is the first time I've ever slain a man, or one's been slain in front of me like this, I'm responsible for this, he's going to bleed out and die. But he doesn't stop, he still fights, but he's not scared, he's hesitant. He doesn't want to be the responsible for someone's death. And then it was Mule, he shows up and starts helping and fighting and does not hesitate to take them down. But once lead totally pirate guy shows up and takes them out, and they're fighting on like boats and dories, Mule's not used to the uneven terrain, so he gets knocked out, and Isidro has to save him this time. And he fights the pirate, and he's better with that kind of terrain, but he's not as skilled with the sword. So the pirate ends up getting the lead on him when some random knight who was just having a nap on a boat shows up. He's reminding me of the bridge knight buddy, but I'm not sure who he is. And then Guts is watching from the distance as Isidro and Mule work together and handle everything. They get the kids and everyone out of the city, and Sonia, who obviously is with Griffith, talks about how maybe it's not so bad that this village is going to burn because she sees how they're treating these people. And I'm like, excuse you, burn? Are you guys burning it down? Is something else going to cause it burn down? She gives Shirka a vision of dead bodies, flames, fire, everything, like it's going to destroy the city. And she offers to take Shirka with her. Now, Griffith is responsible for the death of Flora, and I believe only a witch can stop him is kind of the vibe I'm getting. If no mortal can stand opposed to him, then someone of the spiritual astral realm will be the one to take him down. And I'm going with Guts existing that in between. He's a struggler. He's in both worlds, so that also works. But he was specifically targeting the witch, and now we have the witch's apprentice. I don't think, maybe, does Sonia know that she's a witch from the same forest that was just attacked? Is she going to be offered as a prize to Griffith? A gift to Griffith? Be like, here, I brought her. You can kill her now. I don't think so, because it seems like Sonia really, she calls Shurika an owl, and is dreaming of the kite and owl flying together in the sky and being together and friends, and they seem genuinely building that friendship, so I don't think that'd be the case. Maybe she just doesn't know and thinks she'd be welcome in Griffith's camp. But then we get back to Griffith's camp, and you see Princess Charlotte baking Griffith sweets, and Sonia's wanting to stay and be by Griffith, even though she doesn't seem jealous of Charlotte, but she is upset that everyone's like, Charlotte was so alone and isolated away from her love for over a year and being held hostage. And Sonia's just like, I was anxious and alone too. Like, my powers put me separate from society. She's not the only one who was alone, and she's hanging out with Robin Hood buddy. I like Sonia's character. I really, really, really do, and I want to see more from her. I want to know what's going to happen to her, and can she leave Griffith and just come with our group instead? Please. Because I love our group, and I want her to join our group. The only other thing that's happened so far is our group was at a bar, they're drinking, having fun, and then a bar fight breaks out. Oh, I forgot to mention Isidro, when the pirate fell into the water. He's like, I can't swim, I'm drowning, save me! And the pirate had just offered Isidro to, like, praise him of his skills, saying, I'll train you, myself, personally, you have potential. Isidro's like, dumb pirate, and smacks him with an oar. Love that scene, love that moment. I love Isidro. I love Isidro and Puck there. Oh, I love them. But yeah, in the bar, Shurika just grabs like a bottle and smashes it over someone's head because she doesn't have her wand right now, because she's now in hiding in normal clothing. They're just having a fun old time, and she's like, even after all this, I can still smile and laugh. So beautiful, beautiful, sweet, darling, darling girl. Loving me some Berserk, but life's getting busy, so only half a volume set this week. Cutting in one last time, I will be continuing with my read of Berserk. It's just, I have started my journey with Brandon Sanderson, and it's kind of addicting. This is basically a day's worth of reading. I need to stop. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.